What's the weirdest flex you have? Story 1. A tree fell on me in 2021 and broke all my ribs, my spine, and popped both my lungs. I dragged myself out and survived long enough, slowly drowning in my own blood, and internally bleeding out, to be found and get airlifted to a trauma ward. So I got almost as much metal grafted to my bones as Wolverine, though I don't flex much because I got so much metal making me rather stiff and rigid. Story 2. I can always pick the exact right size container to put leftovers in. Story 3. I can get rid of hiccups on demand. Like without fail, if I have hiccups I can just think about it and they go. Story 4. I've been booed by 10,000 people at once. I know athletes and celebrities have been booed by more people, but I'm neither. I was randomly picked out of the crowd at an NBA game to attempt a three-point shot, to win everyone a free pizza. I bricked it. Story 5. I had to take an IQ test when I was being evaluated for ADHD, and apparently I am in the 99th percentile in spatial reasoning. I can't do math or talk good, but I can pack the hell out of a suitcase. Story 6. I can tell myself what time I need to wake up and I will awaken within 1 minute of that time without an alarm. Story 7. In the 90s I worked as customer service for an airline ticket seller. They just started a website, this was like 97 or so, and I was in their first internet customer service agent training. Didn't learn a thing. Anyways, as I was doing the job I realized I was getting the same questions over and over again. Standard procedure was to email back and have to type out the same message again and again. So I, being the young, tech-savvy guy, very few of us back then, just made a window file and typed out the responses, then cut and pasted when I got those emails. So most customer service agents did maybe 30 to 40 emails a day. I was doing 200 to 250. I was doing so many that when the big wigs were visiting the call center, the COO came to talk with me and asked me how I was able to answer as many customers as I was. Dumb young me explained what I had done creating canned responses for the company. She asked me to email my list to her. I did, and soon the entire company was using it. I didn't get any credit, or money, or a promotion. Nada. I left that place like a month later cause I was 18 and hated the hours. Story 8. Drunk with my FIL at my 40th and we both ended up taking a piss in the garden. He told me that I had a very good stream, and I've worn that badge with pride ever since. Story 9. I got picked up in a white van as a child by a stranger to get a lift to somewhere 5 minutes away. I was in the back of the van for half an hour, then they opened the door at the place I was trying to go. To this day I'm not sure, but I think a pedophile changed his mind. Story 10. I have dextrocardia. As in, my heart is on the right-hand side of my chest. My heart defects all fall under an even rarer condition called CHARGE syndrome. CHARGE is an acronym for different health complications. CHARGE is so rare that I was like the third known case of its kind on the whole island when I was born. I'm a popular, you'll never see this again in your career, examination subject with student doctors and that. Story 11. I very indirectly was responsible for an A-list rugby player getting suspended because of a photo of him pissing in his own mouth. A truly insane series of events, and I will not elaborate. Story 12. I'm American but can eyeball a space or item length using the metric system with scary accuracy. My coworkers wondered if I was a robot at times. Story 13. I had a fan website in honor of my voice. Years ago I was well known for calling LBC, UK-based talk radio station. I was a daily caller to one show. Basically, because it was a very blokey show, the male listener seemed to love my voice. I was approached by someone who wanted to set up a fan site in my honor. I was a bit confused by it but said to him to go ahead. He gave me the login for the email so I could reply to the people getting in touch. I received 500 emails a day from listeners to the show. Some were total pervs, some were people in the radio industry offering to train me to become a broadcaster, but very few were haters. I ended up with a sponsorship from a toy company who sent my kids hundreds of pounds of toys just for being allowed to advertise on the site and giving them a mention. It was a bit nuts, to be honest. I remember one or the few haters sending me a ton of abuse from his work address, schoolboy error, so I called him for a chat. Never seen someone backtrack so fast. Story 14. My body is weirdly good at telling which sounds to be concerned about when I'm asleep, to the point where I can generally sleep through most things that wouldn't otherwise affect me. Roadworks in the street right outside my window? No problem. Noisy neighbors deciding to do late-night DIY? Easy. Street racers? Didn't even realize they were there. But the lock on the front door being fiddled with, despite the sound having to travel down the hall and through a closed bedroom door? I'm wide awake. Footsteps in the hallway? It's probably just the SO, but wake up just in case. Someone put a hand on a door handle somewhere in THR flat? It's not the bedroom door handle, but what if it is though? Better wake up. The problem I have is actually getting to sleep in the first place. I survived 9 heart attacks before I turned 40. Have 4 stints following 3 angiograms and 1 open heart surgery with vein transfer that failed, been in heart failure status for a year. But honestly, I am healthier than I was a year ago. A year ago, couldn't walk half a mile. Now can walk 3 miles without issue. Even survived COVID this year after 2 years of isolating. Not only do I have a rare form of leukemia, but I'm currently kicking its ass and in a form of remission.